Hey guys, this is a post from the Dead by Daylight Twitter a couple days ago. Basically, this is a little GIF cut from the Spirit teaser trailer that came out a little bit before she was released. This has led a lot of people to believe that Rin's father, Rin is the Spirit by the way, that Rin's father is going to be the next killer in the next chapter. Now this obviously makes sense because Rin's father was actually the first choice to be killer by the entity. But as Rin's father was killing Rin, the entity could feel the power and anger in Rin and chose her instead. So because of this, a lot of people have been thinking that Rin's father will be the next killer, which it's predictable. It's a very predictable move by Behavior, and their whole team. It makes sense. It would make sense, but something like that has never happened. Something where two killers or two survivors have ever been related whatsoever. Every killer has always been from a different time period, different family, ranging far and wide. So, I don't believe that Rin's father will be the next killer, but it is something to think about. Now, I did say this is not what I believe. This is what most people who have seen this tweet and have talked about it, this is what they believe. What I believe is that Rin's father is going to be the next survivor. And there is a reason that I think this. There isn't just like personal preference. I'm not just some survivor main who wants more survivors. In the lore text, the detailed background, whatever you want to call it, of the Spirit, it tells the whole story of Rin's father going mad after being fired from his job and blamed for the company's downfall. It talks about how that drove him mad and that drove him to kill Rin and Rin's mom. This is the true cause of Rin getting so full of anger and lust for revenge that she gets chosen to be the next killer. But in the very last little paragraph of the lore, it talks about the fog whispering promises of blood and revenge into Ren's ears. And it talks about an oath being made as Rin died and became the Spirit. Now, this obviously could just be flavor text. It could just be part of the lore. But since this clip is from the Spirit teaser trailer, I think this last little bit is very, very important. Here's what I think went down. I think the entity wanted Rin to become the killer because the entity could feel the power of her. But Rin is not a psychopathic killer. Every other killer that has been chosen by the entity was already mad and lustful for blood before they became part of the entity's machine. But not Rin. Rin solely wanted revenge on her father. She didn't want to kill innocents, she just wanted to punish him. So, what I believe happened is, Ren and the entity made a deal. An oath, as it says. Ren wanted her father to suffer, but the entity wanted Rin to make innocent people suffer, the other survivors suffer. So, Rin agreed to make these other people suffer, as long as eventually she got to make her father suffer. So the entity agreed to this, and in doing so, the entity had to wait out until Rin's father died, and then the entity would capture Rin's father into the entity's realm, and then Rin could finally enact her revenge on her father. She could be the killer, and Rin's father could be the survivor. This would be her chance to make him suffer. And this was enough for her to say yes to making innocents suffer. So as long as she was able to make her father suffer, she was completely okay with murdering the other survivors over and over again. This is very important. I feel like this line of text is the single most important line of text in all the lore that has been given to us by the developers. I think that the lore is often overlooked by most people, which is fair. It doesn't usually come into play much. It's mostly just flavor text and explaining why This specific killer survivor was chosen by the entity, how it happened, where it went down, etc., etc. But this line of text gives us more information than most people might have thought. An oath was made and Rin closed her eyes is the exact line in the lore. Like I said before, Rin was not murderous before she entered the entity's realm. I'm almost certain that every other killer had murderous tendencies and just liked the feeling of killing. And so it only suited them to join the entity in their quest for punishment on innocent people. Now, obviously, being a killer isn't all sunshine and rainbows. Like, imagine your constant existence is simply just chasing around people, getting hit in the face with slabs of wood, watching them teabag you, and clicky flashlights in your face. Personally, I wouldn't like to be the killer in real life. Also, I'm not a murderous psychopath, but, you know. Anyway, this is the main bulk of my theory. I think that Rin's father is going to become the next survivor so that Rin can finally enact her revenge. Now, this would be completely new. This would be a new move from behavior. This would be completely unheard of in the world of Dead by Daylight. As I said before, no killer or survivor has ever been chosen that has been related to a previous killer or survivor. And when I thought about this, I had sort of a revelation. What if the entity's choice isn't as random as we thought? Yes, the entity chooses killers that are misguided, lustful for blood, and all-around psychopaths. But this wasn't the same for Rin. Rin was chosen because Rin had the strength and raw power to be a just horrible killer in the realm. Now, all of this made me thought, like, yeah, if Rin's dad enters the realm, it's no biggie, right? Yeah, it's a one-time thing where two of the characters are related in some way. But then it really got me thinking, what if... Now, this is pure speculation. There is no reason behind this. This is my idea. This is my concept for how the entity chooses its killers and survivors. What if the entity is picking killers based off their bloodline? What if the bloodline started way back with the plague? And because it started so far back, that bloodline could be spread across the entire planet at that point. There could be the blood of the killer everywhere. And the entity only chooses people with this specific bloodline. And this also got me thinking with the biblical sense of it, where which bloodline could have such a murderous tendency? And it hit me. What if this bloodline is Cain's bloodline? If you don't know the story, Cain killed Abel. Cain was the first murderer, and he was marked by God. What if this is the bloodline that the killers are chosen from? It started all the way back with Cain, and it just continues to go. Everyone with Cain in their blood is a possible candidate for the entity. Except Rin's dad was a perfect candidate. He had Cain's blood, and he was lustful for blood. But the entity chose Rin. Now, this was a new move for the entity. The entity took a gamble. The entity chose Rin because it could feel the power that Rin had, but it still had its eyes on Rin's father. So it still wanted to capture Rin's father in the realm. Now, this got me thinking about, like, how the entity could be God's punishment or whatever. Like, how the entity could literally just be hell. And it's sucking out, like, all the bad blood or from Cain or whatever. But I don't know. I have no fucking clue about any of that religious crap. But I do love the idea of Rin's father still needing punishment because of his bloodline. So instead of having him punished by being the killer that is tormented and tortured to follow the entity's rule, instead, since Spirit was so compliant and so cooperative with the entity, that she just wanted to kill as long as she could punish her father. So the entity does this deal by later capturing him as the survivor. Now, I know the way I talk and the way I explain things is very jumbled around. It doesn't always fit together the right way, the way I want it to. And yes, I could write a script and read it out like that, but to be honest, I'm really bad at writing scripts. So I hope the main idea of this video came across. And if it didn't, I'll explain it in layman's terms now. Basically, because of this tweet, most people think that Rin's father will be the next killer, but I think that Rin's father will be the next survivor so that Rin can finally get her revenge. And I also would like to believe, but I don't think it's true, I would like to believe that all the killers share a murderous bloodline, something similar to Cain's bloodline, where it's cursed, he's marked, whatever, God, Bible stuff. But you know, that's the main idea. The main idea is that I think that Rin will be the survivor, and then the sub ideas that are just concepts that I thought would be cool for the lore but don't really matter are that all the killers share the same bloodline. I think the video is like, what, 10 minutes? I wouldn't even call this a video. This is just a podcast with some visuals. I hope you enjoyed me talking for the past like 8 minutes, I don't know. I hope you enjoyed me talking for however long this video is. And I hope that you agree or disagree with my opinion. There are some people who don't like to pick sides. They just like to be like, yeah, either of those could be true. That's not what I want from you. I want to know your opinion. If you agree with me, please tell me. If you disagree, please tell me. I want to know what the people think. And I don't think this video will get a lot of traction, but it's just an idea that I had. So I started to write some basic ideas down and I started to talk. I don't like writing scripts, so I'm sorry if the ideas were a bit jumbled, but I'm hoping that it's good enough to follow along with, and I'm hoping you understood what I was trying to get across. Thank you for watching and listening, I guess. I hope you enjoyed. As I said, if you really did like this kind of talk, I would love to see your appreciation in the comments and the likes or whatever the fuck. If you're new here, I would love for you to subscribe so you can find more content like this. I also have gaming content that should be showing up now, or it should be showing up later, I don't know. I haven't really thought about how I'm going to edit this together. But I'm probably not going to do a lot of editing. I know I did a couple of cuts because I fucked up my words. But basically, I have more stuff on this channel. It's not just this video. Go ahead and check it out. I also stream on Twitch. That's somewhere. Dude, I just can't wait to see what's fucking happening. This tweet's got me on edge, bro. It's got me angsty. I'm woke. Ooh. All right, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed. Peace.